Hello! Today I wanted to talk about something very near and dear to my heart specifically, and that is an app called Polyvore, which, as you may know, no longer exists. So I wanted to talk about sort of the legacy of Polyvore and what it's left behind, as well as the alternative that I found a couple years back and use now. I was a Polyvore fiend. Strap in, put on some fuzzy socks, and I just want to talk about Polyvore.
Okay.
So Polyvore was an app that allowed users to create mood boards revolving around fashion, home decor, and beauty. Individual users could upload photos of various items, which the Polyvore community could then use to create boards, which were called sets on the app. If you've ever been on Pinterest or Tumblr, you'll probably recognize these sets. Sets were white backgrounds with a collection of various items that people would use to create like fashion outfits or home decor, anything that you really wanted. It was kind of free reign. You could adjust the size and the placement of all of the items, so you could kind of like design. Polyvore hit its peak in the 2010s with millions of users active on the site. I think I saw something like 4 million users were on there at the time. While it was mainly used as a way to express your style or your tastes or find inspiration, Polyvore also had a social aspect. Users could engage with one another's posts through liking, commenting, and sharing. There was also competitions hosted on the app. Like, you didn't really win anything. They would just be like, "You're the winner." But it encouraged you to make sets based on specific occasions or events or categories. Like, it might be make a pink outfit, and then you'd make an outfit only using pink. It was so much fun. We had so much fun doing that. Eventually, Polyvore actually became profitable because it allowed stores to showcase their products on the app, which meant that brands and businesses could receive traffic by way of people using and sharing their items. Then, because they hate us, I guess, Yahoo acquired the app in 2015 as they were interested in it as an e-commerce tool. In 2018, the app was purchased by the e-retailer Sense with 3 S's, but 2 in the front, Sense, which completely broke the app. It just destroyed it, and it would never be restored, so Polyvore officially shut down in 2018. This was the worst day of my life. But before Polyvore shut down, like I said, millions of people were on there using it for God knows what. So I wanted to talk about that. First, let's discuss Disney. Using Polyvore to design modern outfits for Disney characters was huge in the 2010s. So the most popular outfit sets were involving the princesses, but there's definitely a lot of like outfits based on the villains and other characters as well. You know how Disney goes. There was probably Gus Gus ones. I bet there was a ton of Gus Gus from Cinderella. Okay, I'll pull up. People used the items that were on there. It was a very like 2010s taste. So the ones that I show you in this video are gonna be like very 2010s fashion. That's just how it was. So it would start with Ariel's pink dress and you'd make a modern version of that, fine and dandy. But they started very quickly getting really, really specific. So it went from like Ariel's main outfit, or just like Ariel, and then it would be Rapunzel and Flynn on a date night, or Ariel at prom, and things along those lines. Mostly you would see users designing sets that aligned with the general color palettes and motifs of the characters. So for Ariel, you would see a lot of like seashell appliques, mermaid silhouettes, green and purple. For Snow White, it would be bows and apples with like blue, red, yellow, primary colors, you know. And Cinderella, light blues, glittering, shiny, sparkly shoes. That was Cinderella. And that goes for all of the princesses. Elsa at a sleepover. I seriously cannot stress enough how many of these there are. I myself distinctly remember making these. I made a lot of these when Polyvore was still a thing. In fact, one of my first creations on my Polyvore alternative was a modern Rapunzel outfit. We all have to have hobbies, okay? And this is the one that I was cursed with. I still occasionally make boards inspired by different characters that I like. For example, here's an outfit inspired by Paris effing. Yes, Paris effing. the Sinjin drowning Roblox character. Across all of the polyvore alternatives today, you will without a doubt find Disney-related outfits. I think that a term that is often left out of this conversation, though, is Disney bounding, which is dressing up as Disney characters using normal, everyday clothes. It's kind of like a closet cosplay. People do this just for fun, but it was sort of created as a workaround to be able to cosplay at the Disney parks. Adults aren't allowed to wear actual costumes to the parks, because it would make it hard to differentiate between the actual hired Disney cast members and random park attendees, which could cause, like, dangerous and confusing situations if a little kid just is like approaching a stranger that's dressed as Elsa. So Disney won't even let you in if you're like in a full costume, if you're not 4. People started Disney bounding as a way to kind of get around that, so you could still dress up as your favorite character, but you won't get kicked out of the park. A lot of polyvore sets were titled as such, like it would be blah 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 Disney bound. Here's an example. Anna from Frozen. There were only so many ways that you could make Cinderella a Disney bound. So people started doing the very obscure characters, and sometimes they're completely like unrecognizable. Like if you pulled up as Safari Mickey, people are just gonna think that you dress like that. I understand like the concept for just like posting it on polyvore, but if you showed up, nobody's gonna know who you are, and that's okay. I also found this really funny one that I just wanted to share. It's a Disney bound of Squirt from Finding Nemo. Can you tell that it's Squirt? Some honorable mentions include Hades from Hercules. I think if somebody wore this, they should go all the way. Like, wear the blue lip and the blue eyeshadow and everything. Like, it's a full gown. This one wouldn't really be a Disney bound that you would wear to the parks, because, like, mind you, you're getting on roller coasters and stuff. So a lot of the Disney bounds kept that in mind, where it's like, you want to be comfortable, not wearing stiletto boots to walk around Disney. And then another honorable mention is Cinderella's castle. Like, the actual castle in Magic Kingdom. Just dress as that. Might as well. Just dress as the castle.
She's pretty. I think she's really funny.
Epcot Ball is younger and much more beautiful. But why stop at Disney? Other fandoms are still at large, and they have to pay for their crimes. Which brings us to One Direction.
I like girls who eat carrots.
The 2010s also happened to be huge for One Direction. That was like peak One Direction time. So fan art and fan fiction involving the members was not hard to come by at all, especially on platforms like Tumblr and Wattpad. So polyvore was no different, as fans flocked to the app to create outfits such as gender-bent One Direction. There were a lot of these. Also of note is Starbucks with Louis. And, of course, going to the Olympic closing ceremonies with Harry. I can't think of a better outfit for that occasion. The Nicki Minaj coated Barbie pink lip.
Watch your mouth.
Like, definitely bold, but I respect it, and I think Harry would too. Tumblr, Wattpad, and Polyvore became like the trifecta of the One Direction fandom, and fans who were on one were likely on both of the others. Correct me if I'm wrong, but everyone I knew had all of them. Tumblr was where you would just like repost gift sets and like pictures and talk to people about One Direction, and then Wattpad was where you got most of your fan fiction. There was definitely that on Tumblr as well, but you know what I mean. And then Polyvore was like that third little piece of the puzzle that just snuggled and snuck right in there. Eventually, fans started to create polyvore sets to go along with their fan fiction, because Wattpad allowed images. Authors would include pictures of outfits that the reader and like the other characters would be wearing in certain scenes, or like the entire chapter. These often included pictures of random pretty girls, which completely destroyed the point of readers inserting themselves into the story. Not to mention that these images were often just thin, conventionally attractive white women.
In my first video diary, I explained my love for women who have a taste in carrots. Since then, I've received plenty of carrots.
But this is how we got polyvore sets such as A Day Out with Harry Styles. Let's say you get to spend the day with the one and only Harry Styles. You would be the luckiest girl on earth, and of course you have to at least least wear a 1D shirt or a couple of accessories to show off the Directioner in you. but not a lot, just a little. You and him spend the day getting to know each other and find out you two have a lot in common. And when you return home, you say, "This is a day that I'll never forget. I spent the day with Harry Styles." I love it. I love it. And of course, that's the outfit. That is exactly what I would wear. And like, this is so Tumblr. The galaxy print shoes, the ripped black jeans, the skinny jeans, mind you. It's just like the nostalgia, like it just feels like a warm little blanket looking at this picture. Do you not feel soothed by this? I feel soothed by this. Another example is this Gotta Be You, chapter 7, with the aforementioned conventionally attractive white woman looking longingly into the camera with soulful eyes. That's how we would look at Harry Styles. A lot of fans actually really disliked when fanfic authors would do this because it detracted from the reader's ability to imagine themselves in the story, and also people felt that it was like a cop-out, easy way for lazy authors to get around describing their characters. I think young kids were just excited to partake in fandom in general and wanted to share their creations, so you can't be too mad. Like, nobody's actually mad. I think back then people were like frustrated because they wanted to think of their own dress that they were gonna wear, and you took that away from them. And of course, polyvore wasn't just limited to Disney and One Direction fandoms, but those were definitely the biggest. Like, I think those had the most staying power. You were also likely to find outfits relating to the Tumblr staples, such as Supernatural, Doctor Who, Sherlock. There were boards for basically every popular fandom, though. I remember seeing a lot of The Fault in Our Stars outfits, as well as bands, like alternative bands, and pop punk was really big. So 5 Seconds of Summer, you'd see a lot of Pierce the Veil, My Chemical Romance, stuff like that. Which again, I think is just a symptom of like kids getting on Tumblr and discovering these things for the first time, and then being like, I want to wear all black outfit with studded boot. Combat boot even. It was like aspirational in a way. Do you remember any niche outfit boards that you saw? Please explain them in the comments because I live for this stuff. So to kind of wrap up the discussion of polyvore, I just want to say it's kind of unclear why these sets and like these collages blew up so much or were so popular at this time. I know for me personally, I was not and still am not good at like drawing or digital art. So polyvore felt like a way for me to contribute to fandoms, you know, like, and feel like an active part, like I was doing something in the fandom and making something. People also just like fashion and have an eye for that sort of thing. So combining the passion for fashion with the passion for whatever particular fandom you were in would be like a no-brainer. And then I would be remiss if I didn't share my favorite polyvore alternative. I know there's a few out there, but there's one that has had staying power for me personally, which is an app called Combine. And it's definitely not without its flaws, but it's the closest thing I could find to polyvore that like scratches that same itch and has the same function. You can create and share items the same way that you could on polyvore, and you can create collections to organize your items, so it's not just like all of the items you've ever saved. And then you can like and comment and repost boards. Similar to the competitions that were on polyvore, there's challenges that are user created, so you can compete in those. One thing of note is you have to have like a certain amount of flames or something to be able to make challenges. So we'll talk more about that in a little bit, but you can create challenges as a user. You can compete in any challenge. I made a Monster High challenge and people competed in that.
Talented, brilliant, incredible, amazing, show-stopping.
You can also join and create groups to share comments, outfits, items by aesthetic, style, occasion, or just for the social aspect, sharing advice, sharing tips for the app. I will say that there are ads if you don't buy the premium version, which I haven't, but there's not too many. I'll maybe get an ad per session and they're only like 5 seconds long, as opposed to those mobile game ads that are like 30 seconds and you have to click 5 different X's. This one is just like a short 5 seconds. A far worse problem about this app is that it crashes a lot. It might just be my phone, but the app will often freeze to the point where you can't do anything other than swipe out of the app, and then sometimes it just crashes altogether. Like you'll just be working on your board, blah, 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 hours in, and then it crashes. And there's a way to save your works in progress as a draft, but if you didn't save it before it crashed, then it's just gone, which is really frustrating because I'm very, very particular whenever I'm making my boards. So I will be scrolling for ages to find an item, and if I didn't save the item to a collection and I just put it straight into my board and then the board crashes and everything is gone, I have to scroll all the way back and find the item that I was using. So it's very frustrating. I took like a long break from the app because I was working on a board that I really, really liked and I didn't save it and it crashed and I got so mad that I like rage quit. So I would recommend saving your drafts often. Like anytime I add a couple more items or whatever to a board, I will save it as a draft in case it crashes and dies and explodes and goes away. If you're interested in this kind of stuff, I'd like to do a whole video about Combine because it's something I use literally every day and I really enjoy it. Here's some of my boards, like a sneak peek. I also think it's interesting because while it's a successor to Polyvore, its user base seems to use it in a very different way. I think because Polyvore was new, people were doing it for the love of the game or for the love of whatever fandom. But a lot of combinistas, which is what they're called, make, like, and share bait for engagement all the time. Hey guys, I only need 2 more super likes so I can make a challenge for you guys. So if you could please hit that fire button, I would really appreciate it. And comment, I helped. I will like 20 of your posts. Is that the Lorax? That's not to say there aren't people on the app who use it in a really creative way, but a lot of your feed, if you go on there, is gonna probably be like bait. That's why I recommend joining the groups. I'm part of a few, and then find users on there who like your style and start following them. Especially if they post items, you want to follow people who make items.
Whoever you are, thank you.
The search system is ass on Combine. There might be 50 million roughly bloomer shorts on the app, like let's say that. But if you look up bloomers, like they won't come up, or maybe like 3 will come up. So a lot of it is a grind. It is scrolling through items that people posted to try to find something that you want for your board. Definitely like make use of the collections feature and save all of the things that you like. I have like hundreds, as you saw.
Girlfriend, stop!
And I'm constantly saving more. But people who post items are the backbone of Combine society. Like they're carrying the app on their very shoulders. So pay respect. At 6Liz7, I worship you like a god. Well, that was kind of a lot. I get carried away talking about this stuff because it's very specific to my middle and high school life growing up on the internet. I absolutely loved Polyvore and I genuinely was devastated when it was ruthlessly taken away from me and ripped out of my grubby little hands. So I searched until I found something similar enough, Combine, and I went back to using it every day. I'm constantly searching for items and making outfit boards. I love seeing all the creative outfits and designs that people make, and I'm just happy to have a platform that's dedicated to fashion of like all types. You will find every type of style on here. But yeah, definitely let me know your thoughts on all this, and if you try out Combine, let me know what you think. Also follow me on there if you're interested in what I post. I've posted a few items, but it's kind of a grind to post items, so yeah, respect your item posters for sure. My username on there is @concretebaby. So if you follow me, let me know you're from YouTube. I just think that would be cool to see. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you if I ever make another video. I don't know. Bye.